Now that I read you the first paragraph of Wagon Ho, I want you to think, were there any clunks? No? Everything's clicking? All right. Now I'm going to read the next two paragraphs, and if you have any clunks, I want you to write them down, and we'll use the vocab strategy if we have any clunks. Okay, we're following along. Second paragraph. A wagon train on the move could be 1 mile long and 1 mile wide. Bumping along inside a cramped wagon was a hard and uncomfortable way to travel. Pioneers often trudged beside the wagon instead. Consequently, most people walked slowly all the way to Oregon, nearly 2,000 miles. As pioneers headed west, they watched for famous landmarks along the way. Some of the landmarks showed how far the pioneers had traveled. Others, especially steep mountain passes or dangerous rivers that they had to cross. Others were forts where pioneers could get news and supplies. Okay, if you wrote down any clunks, I want you to work with your shoulder partner and use the strategies on the strategy chart to try to decode your words. I'm going to walk around and check out your words and see how it goes. Now that we've finished going through our clunks, which a few of you found some, I seen the word, I seen the word trudge, crammed, and I think there was a couple passes because they weren't quite sure what it meant for mountain pass. Everybody feels good with the words now? So if we read it again, it's going to click? Awesome. Okay. Now that we're done with our click and our clunk, we're going to get the gist. Okay. Now I want you to follow the steps in the paragraph, shrinking to get the gist of the paragraph of Wagon Ho in 10 words or less. I want you to think, who is the paragraph mostly about? What is the important information about the who or what? And how to make it in 10 words or less. Again, I want you to work with your shoulder partners, and I'm going to come around and check. Good job. Good job. Okay, count your words. Make sure it's 10 or less. Okay. Would anybody like to share theirs? Okay. Awesome. Wagon trains left early to avoid snow in the mountains. That is a very good gist. Okay. Now I want you and your shoulder partner to read the next two paragraphs and form another gist there. And if you come across any clunks, go ahead and use our strategy, our vocabulary strategy, to decode or find the meaning of the word and of the clunks. If everything's clicking, great. Okay, now that we've read it, we're going to our after reading. Our first is ask and answer questions. Okay, this is a wrap up the whole section, the whole of a day on the trail and the end of the trail. We read them together, hold on, Wagon Ho, sorry. We read Wagon Ho. Okay. There are two parts, as we talked about, the ask and answer, and to review what we've learned. We're going to go through and check your brainstorms and your predictions. But first, we're going to come up with some questions. What type of questions? QAR, and the 3 QAR questions are right there. Think and search, author and me. Okay, work with your shoulder partner to come up with 3 questions, 1 of each type, along with the answers. Okay, remember as you're reviewing to jot down important information. And then once you're finished with your questions and answers, I'd like you to go ahead and review what you've learned with your partner. Go through your brainstorms, your predictions. If they match, if they need revised, go ahead and change that. And once we are all finished, we are going to work on our independent. I'm going to have you guys independently read A Day on a Trail and The End of the Trail. I want you guys to go ahead and work down the CSR. Create your brainstorms, your predictions. Write down any clunks. I want your gist. Now, for this activity, you only have to write a gist for each section. I'm not going to make you write one for each paragraph. And then go ahead, if you have any clunks, use your vocabulary strategy. And I'm going to leave my gist up so you understand, because you got something to look at, something to reference if needed. And when you finish, I want you to do your answers and review what you've learned. If you want, you can do your questions and your review with your shoulder partner. And then once we're finished, I'm going to have everybody share their gist for the sections and one of your answers. Okay, get to work.